In this video I'm going to show you how to fold the water bomb tessellation by Eric Gjerde. It's also diagrammed in the book Origami Tessellation's awe-inspiring geometric designs. We're going to start with a square sheet of paper. This one is 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, or about 6 inches by 6 inches large. And the finished model will then be about this size, which is 9 centimeters on each side, or approximately 3.5 inches on each side. Now, if only one side is colored, start with the white side up, and we're going to divide the paper into 8 equal parts. That's what I advise you when you first do this model. Later you can divide into more parts, and I'm going to explain how to do the steps in a relatively general way so that you will be able to make larger models. So first we're going to divide into 8 equal parts in this video. So just bring the edges to a line to make a crease halfway and unfold. Then bring each of the edges to the crease you just created. Try to make all of these creases sharp and try to get all of these folds to be valleys. So if you decide to divide the paper into 8 equal parts differently, just be sure that all of them will be valley folds. Next, bring the edge to the quarter crease. And then the 3/4 crease. Then rotate and again fold to the quarter and the 3/4 crease. Then rotate and again divide into 8 equal parts. First in half, then quarters, and then eighths. Then turn the paper over, and now we're going to make some diagonal creases. The first two are placed a bit randomly actually, so I'm just going to start in this corner. We're going to crease just between these 2 grid points. So bring this point to where 1/4 intersects with the other quarter. And then also do the other diagonal of that small square. Be sure to only crease along the diagonal of 2 small grid squares, and always make very strong creases. So this is the first set of diagonal creases, and we're going to make several more of these, and I'll tell you how to position them. You can see that you have a square consisting of 4 small squares here, and right next to it you're going to go 1 to the right and then 1 up right here. you're going to start the next one. And you'll always use that rule. Always start with the one to the right and the top of those two squares. And if you need to fill the paper like that the whole way, and sometimes you rotate, but we'll see that in a second. So first, let's make the next set of diagonal creases here. You want to fold accurately, so when you kind of know where you need to go, always align the paper with the grid and then make a nice, accurate, sharp crease. And then the other one. Always trying to get accuracy by aligning on the grid. So there's your second one. Then let's do the next one right here. And the next one right here. Always following that rule that I gave you. One to the right and then take the top square. Now you have 4 of these X's, and let's now rotate the paper and do the same thing again. For example, if you look at this X, the next one will be one to the right, then the top one, so there's an X right here. And then you can put another one right here. And you want to fill the whole pattern with this. Let's see which ones are missing. For example, if we rotate like this, you can see you have one of those X's and you can't see any creases here yet. So let's do those next. Do it the other way around, so that you can align the paper on the grid to get nice accuracy. And the other direction. And the next one I'll pick right here. I go round the square quite chaotically, but it's easy to see where some are missing. So when you use a grid with higher divisions, you can always check which ones are missing. I'm doing this one next. Let's see. Let's do this one next. And which one's next? We're almost done here. Let's see. Right here on the border we've got an X. but this square isn't creased yet, so we need to put an X right here. And as you can see, this X is only partly on the square. So be sure to go along all the borders. For example, here one is missing. And here. And this one is missing. And that one. And let's have a look around. This is looking pretty much done. And I think the only one missing is right this one down here. If you imagine an X here, then this would have been the top square on the right. And then our crease pattern should be done. Now we can collapse the whole thing. We're basically going to form a lot of water bomb bases. So let's just take one of these X's that ends in an edge and just try to get that in place a bit. The basic idea is that where the diagonal folds cross, you will go down, and the 4 points of the square where those diagonals are on, those are all going to be pointing upwards. So if you want to go around and push in the centers of those X's, that will help. And then you might also want to push out the corners, but you can do that as you go along too. So pushing those in and out. Right. So let's just try to get the second one here. Like that. Just pushing it together a bit. And right here, let's take this one next. Pushing those together a bit. And let's not worry about the one that's on the edge. It's this one. And the more you do, the simpler it will probably get, because the paper is starting to take on the shape that you want. So you can see here, it's not really pointing down yet. So press down, and then those will fall into place. Press up here. This is why I really want you to do basically, seen from the color side, mountain folds on all the horizontal and vertical creases, and valley folds on all the diagonals, because then collapsing won't be really that hard. I'm trying to make this quite slowly so you can see what's happening, but basically the direction of the creases will cause the paper to do what you want, and you might have to push on the valleys so they go inside. You might want to push from the back so that the mountains really pop up. And like that, you just start making the model 3D. Right here you can see it's inside, but it's supposed to pop out. So just push from the back. You can probably hear the paper when it pops up. And then you start getting something like this. And you just want to then gather it up and push it together. You can hold it from the back. You can see here there's all these kind of sunken X's. You might want to push them together to make them stronger. By just, what I do is I take my fingers, I take 3 usually, put them in these 3 pockets and then press together like so. And then your model is basically done. You can see that when you press it together quite hard, let's see, and I can hold it with one hand, that you have all these squares, basically cubes, and when you put it apart a bit, it opens up, and you have to decide for yourself how much you want it collapsed, whether it should be quite tight or whether you want to open it up a bit. And the more you make, the funner it gets, and the more the paper will probably want to curl too. So here it is. Hope you enjoyed it.